Hello everyone, this is Colin once again. I wanted to make this video to address several topics. This is going to be another update on the direction of my channel and my various other projects that are going on. My semester is almost complete, and so in the next couple weeks here, after finals, I'll have more time to post more articles, more videos. Over the summer, I just haven't had the time to do what I've wanted to do in a timely fashion. So I want to give you a preview of what is going to occur in the future. I have linked in the more info description area of this video several links to various websites. I'm going to talk about each link in detail. The first one is to my blog, and I have already posted the first. Basically, I posted my term paper for my comparative religion class on the topic of the historicity of the Exodus, and I turned in the paper. I got an A on the paper, because I only say that not because I'm trying to be egotistical, because I know people were going to ask me, so what did you get? So yeah, totally, succeeded with that particular term paper, and I copied and pasted it as a blog post on my blog. And so for those of you who would like to read that my paper, by all means, please do. That paper is going to be basically the launching point of what I'm going to be discussing, how I'm going to be discussing, the Exodus in future discourses, whether it's on my blog. I plan on basically going into more detail about the elements of the story of the Exodus, historical, symbolic, psychological, religious, in various blog posts in the future. So if you're interested in the subject, I won't be doing very much more on it here on the Ozzycda account, but I will be continuing to post articles on my blog regarding the subject. Now, my recent videos have sparked a lot of discussion amongst many of you, among many of you, and I've been getting great comments. So I want to thank all of you who have commented, either people who have supported what I'm doing, hated what I'm talking about, have criticized me for what I've been talking about. It's all very nice to see both types of comments, or the various types of comments. I think this would be really boring if I was discussing these things and everyone just kind of went, "Oh, okay, that's cool," and life went on. It wouldn't be that interesting at all, actually. I want to thank specifically Wayman29 for giving a shout out, mentioning me in a shout out on one of his videos. I'd like to return the favor and mention Wayman29's channel. Wayman and myself are interested in very much the same topics, whether it's spirituality, comparative religion, comparative mythology, psychology, Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell. So I have a feeling, and I would like to have future discourses with him on various topics in the near future. And that brings me to one of the other links in the description section, or at least two of them. I was thinking of Wayman and other people when I stumbled across these two websites. The first one is the Joseph Campbell Foundation website. And this foundation has a plethora of resources regarding Joseph Campbell and the studies that he was interested in. On this website, and when you click a link, this is the first thing you'll see, and then you can navigate through the rest of the site, are about 7 lists. And what you do is, when you're looking at the first list, which is Joseph Campbell's reading list, is what it's called, there are, to the right of the screen, you'll see other lists of various titles, such as like Sacred Voices, Mythological Resources, Pioneers in the Field, etc. These are just lists of books, and my intent is to go through the ones that interest me, at least, which is pretty much the majority of the titles, and read every single book that are in these lists, because this is probably the best reading list, in the plural, that I have ever seen compiled for comparative mythology, comparative religion, philosophy of religion, sociology of religion, psychology of religion, psychology in general. It is just amazing. Folklore, fairy tales, etc. And I assume that Wayman probably knows about this website. If you did not know about this website, then I would really encourage you to check it out. You can become an associate for free, which means you just start an account, and that opens up more associate-only VIP areas, such as the forums they have on the site, and it's just a great place to get extra information. I'll be reading Joseph Campbell's works as well and commenting on those as well. And I mentioned this to Wayman and others that are interested in the works of Carl Jung, Joseph Campbell, and this sort of style of interpreting religious and mythological texts, because I hope to have discussions via video or however on some of the books, many of the books that are on these lists. And I know Wayman is personally ahead of me on this. He's been reading the Greek dramas, the Greek tragedies, and Plato and Campbell. He's already ahead of me. He's read many of those, so I have to try and catch up with him because I'd like to discuss the character of Prometheus and some of these, Plato's philosophies and other texts that I'm sure is very much familiar with. The other link is to archive.org. Now, this is an awesome website. This website has ebooks, basically libraries from around the world have scanned their collections, and you can look up specific books, you can read them online. Now, this is important because I used this website when I was writing my paper on the Exodus, and I used a translation that was very hard to find. I tried to acquire it from my own library, and they said they'd have to go through a whole bunch of hoops to get this for me. So I Googled, Menenthos Histories, and found an English translation of Menenthos Histories as an ebook on this website. This website not only has ebooks, but it also has archived videos, audio of any topic you can think of. And it's also important because many of the books that are on Joseph Campbell's reading list are not easily obtained in print, and yet I was able to find many of the hard-to-find texts as ebooks on archive.org. So I also wanted to extend that to Wayman and anybody else who this website is just a great resource for anybody who's interested in anything. It's like having a virtual library, and it's very. I mean, not everything is on there. I've tried to find pretty much things that are not copyrighted or things that they've received copyright permission to reproduce is on the site. But there's a lot of things that I looked up, tried to find a lot of things by Carl Jung specifically, and Houston Smith, and was not able to find a lot. So I think that if they're still under copyright protection, they may not be available, or if they just haven't received permission from the publishers of Houston Smith or Carl Jung or anybody else, and they won't appear on the website. But I'll be using that that website when I'm reading some of the texts that are not easily obtained in print. So another thing I want to point out is, since when you start going through these reading lists, you'll realize that not all the books are theological in nature. In fact, many of them are either philosophy or psychology or just literature, poetry, epics, and so I was trying to figure out, okay, the Ozzycda account is primarily religion, history, and I've been doing some psychology as well. But I have a secondary account, the link that I'll post in the description section as well. My secondary account is Ozzycda Arts. And so what I've decided to do is to split up my analysis or my thoughts or critiques of these various books in all three areas: Ozzycda, Ozzycda Arts, and then my Ozzycda blog. And so I'll try and do it on each category will be in its proper place. So if it's a discussion about psychology, religion, history, it'll be here on Ozzycda. If it's about literature, poetry, a discussion of sort of the literary perspective on some of these topics, then it'll be in Ozzycda Arts. And if I decide to just write a blog on any of those topics, it'll be on a post on my blog. So I'll try to advertise when I do something new on any channel, and just so you all know what's going on. And so this is going to take a while. As one of my friends joked, I now have my summer reading list, except that it's more than one. And luckily I've read a number of the books already, but a lot of them I have not, and so I have a lot to read, a lot to do. So in the near future, a lot of these videos may seem incredibly random because they have similar themes, so they're in the same category of its theology or comparative religion, but one week it may be about the Odyssey by Homer, the next week it'll be Nietzsche, the next week it'll be Plato, the next week it'll be the Tao Te Ching. I mean, who knows? It just depends on whatever I'm reading and then my thoughts on it if I decide to talk about it. So just wanted to give you an update that this is where I'm at right now with regards to doing all this research on comparative religion, comparative mythology. Again, I feel like a sponge still. I'm just taking all of this in and trying to sort it out mentally and try to figure out, okay, so what are my thoughts on this, and is this changing my opinions on some things? So I hope you will stay with me on the journey and engage in the conversation where you see fit. And so please check out Wayman29's account as well if you're interested in these sort of topics. And if you have any comments or suggestions about future topics you'd like to see me discuss that's outside of the realm of these books that I'll be discussing, or readings or topics I'll be discussing or of my own choosing. If you have a topic that you really want me to discuss, something going on you'd like me to analyze, then by all means, please leave a comment or send me a private message. So I hope everyone's doing good, and thank you again for all the great discussions. Again, whether you agree with me or not with regards to some of the new things that I've been talking about, that's totally fine. But being able to discuss it with many of you has been an honor and a privilege. So please keep the comments rolling. Thank you everyone for watching, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace and blessings of Almighty God be upon you all. Thank you very much.